In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the rear door lock harness on your Dodge Ram, located right here inside your door panel. Using a T30 Torx bit and our extension, we're going to go ahead and remove the bolt holding the handle in place here. Remove that bolt and the handle, and we'll set that aside. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove this screw in the center of the panel. To remove the door panel, we simply want to grab here and lift upward. Slide this up and off the door lock post right here. Behind the power window switch, you're going to find the harness right here. On the top, press down on the little tab, pop that off, you can remove that door panel. Let's go ahead and press down on this retaining clip and pop the rod out. Use a 10mm socket, loosen and remove these two nuts. Remove the handle actuator. Now the water shield is held on by an adhesive around the perimeter all the way around. You can try and gently pull on this here. It doesn't want to come off. You can go ahead and use a razor blade. And I'm going to start up in the upper corner here, and I'm just going to gently slice away at the adhesive. Now this is super sticky and it is reusable. So you want to try and be careful not to cut the plastic itself. Now at this point here, you don't have to remove this entire unit to do what we're going to do over here. You can just tuck this over here. You can use some tape or just use some of this adhesive. Just kind of roll it over and stick it to the door jamb over here. Just kind of keep this out of the way. We need to go in through the door shell here and remove the glass guide that runs up and down. Use our 10mm socket. Just loosen this bolt up top. On the side here, we need to go ahead and remove this Torx bolt right here. Using a T30 Torx bit, loosen and remove this. Gonna set that aside. I'm gonna go ahead and lift up on that guide, and you're gonna slide this bolt up and out, like so. Pull this right out of the door. This is a glass guide channel right here. Set that aside. In order to continue pulling off the water shield here, I want to go ahead and remove our speaker using our Phillips head screwdriver. Remove these 3 screws, and then we'll pull the speaker out and disconnect the harness off the back side. On the connector right here, just push on this little tab, remove the speaker, set it aside. Continue using the blade or removing the cover, removing the water shield how you chose to do so. Go ahead and set that aside. We want to go ahead and remove this whole unit from right here. Now we have a rubber boot right here, as well as a rubber boot and seal here. I'm going to go ahead and start on the body side here. If you want to, go ahead and try using a plastic trim tool. I want to go ahead and peel that rubber back off of this. You're going to use your pry tool, press in on the side right here beside that rubber boot, and there's going to be a plastic retention clip. You're going to pop that off. If you have access to a pick like this, we're going to go ahead and reach on the other side and do the same, pressing in on that side of that clip. Pull that harness through. Right on the bottom here, we're going to press in, remove that body harness. Once you have that disconnected, we're simply going to go ahead and push this through into the inside of the door shell. With this free, let's go ahead and start removing the rest of the harness from the door. We have our speaker connector here that comes through this plastic retainer. Use your trim tool, reach around the back side, pop that out. Right here, the harness is held in place without another plastic button. Pop that through. We have a plastic retainer right here. Good, pull that out of the door shell. Go ahead and do the same throughout here. If you're having a hard time with that, just use a pair of cutters and you can snip that plastic. Power window motor has a little tab on the bottom side. You're going to press in on that, wiggle that connector free. Following through here, use your trim tool to pop these buttons off. I'm going to go ahead and follow the harness up through here, removing these little retainers. And collect all those little remnants out from the bottom part of your door shell and discard of those. So you're going to reach in, and the connector is rectangular. The release clip for this harness is on this side, so with your thumb, you're going to reach in. Pinch that little tab and wiggle that connector free. Here's a connector, here's a little tab here to push in and pull that connector off. At this point, go ahead and pull the harness through. There's the old harness. Take the new harness and we're going to reverse the procedure. And reach down inside the door shell. And what I'm going to try and do is get the bottom half of our seal lined up. And if you spray the boot with a little bit of a silicone spray, sometimes you can get that to slide into place and pop in a little bit easier. With that seated, go ahead and grab your harness and align this up. Snap it in, feed that harness back into the body. Line it up and snap that retainer clip in. Once this is seated, you can now go ahead and start to run the wires where they need to be run. So we're going to start with our speaker here. We have a little retainer button. The long wire here is the run for the actuator unit. Now if you follow the harness through it, there's a little retainer clip right here, and it's supposed to go right here. Our old harness had broke off of that. I'll snip that off. Go ahead and pop that out. Run our wire in. You want to make sure that the spring clip facing the door. So let's feed that in, get that pressed onto our actuator unit. Press it in. You can hear it and feel it click. There you go. You have the retainer in here. Get our speaker retainer clip installed right here. We have 3 retaining buttons here. Run our connector down here. Snap that into place. We want to go ahead and install our glass run channel right here. Pop that in. On the bottom side, we need to go ahead and get our Torx bit or Torx screw installed right here. Now let's go ahead and tighten this down. Once that bottoms out, give it a good quarter turn. Make sure that's nice and tight. On the top bolt, use your 10mm socket to tighten that down. Let's go ahead and set our water shield into position. And we're going to try and line this up, sticking this back in the original spot. Install your speaker. Let's go ahead and tighten down the screws. Go ahead and fold this over. I want to make sure that we can get the actuator rod through. Line up our water shield and go ahead and press that back into place. Now, for any reason, if your adhesive is no longer working, you can simply use some heavy-duty tape, run around the perimeter, and seal that up. Once that's all lined up, go ahead and get your door handle component here installed. Get those 10mm nuts put on. Tighten those down. Grab that actuator rod and put the clip on. Now, installing the door panel, you have a series of these tabs here all over on the perimeter. So we're going to press the door panel on and slide it down to lock it into place. Let's go ahead and get our power window switch harness connected first. Snap it in. Let's lift up our door panel. Make sure you get your door lock button pushed through the trim bezel up top. What you want to do is run your fingers around the edge, make sure that the door panel is sealed and tight all the way around, like ours is. And go ahead and install the screw in the center of the door panel. Tighten down that screw. Let's go ahead and install our handle. I'm going to get my Torx bit and extension lined up on there first. Line that up on the bracket. I'm going to start threading that in by hand. And let's go ahead and tighten that down. Snug that into place. Go ahead and give that a test. You're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.